What? This sounds like a terrible idea. Who does that? Who goes to camp without knowing at least one person? And guess what happened when I looked at the sign up form? And I'm going to be the fattest loner there is known to mankind. I, as a massive introvert who has massive social anxiety, went to a camp where I knew absolutely no one beforehand. What? You might think, why would I do that? Why would I possibly agree to do something like this? What could have happened to make me feel like I should do something like this? What situation was I in to make me want to put myself in this position? What? Nothing makes sense. But wait, guess what? This experience in my 2.5 years of university is by far the best experience I've ever had, and it's not even close. You wanna know why? Watch to the end to find out. So first, where was I before this camp at my university? I was basically like this. Oh my gosh, mid-semester break, finally I can have a bit of break. But wait! After the mid-semester break, I have 3 tests in a row. Oh my god. I gotta study every day these 2 weeks, man. No. Nah, we can't just study for 2 weeks straight with my butt on my seat and just doing this all the time. Nah. We have to at least hang out with just one person where we have nothing academically related, where we just have fun, and maybe I can even get to know them better and deepen my connection with them, and they can do the same with me, right? Surely I can do something, just one thing, to make this break, this holiday, just a lot more memorable than just me studying. I have nothing to do, so I just study. Gotta do something. Okay, let's see who we got. Oh, I know this person. Hey, maybe we can hang out. Boo, you wanna hang out? Rejected. Oh no. No, I got no one to hang out with and have fun with. No, oh my god, dude. It's over. I got no one to hang out with and have fun with. No. Oh my gosh, man. Surely, man, there's gotta be something out there that can help me to have fun. Oh? University club. Do you want to have a few days away from uni and from studying and to have fun at this place? Do you want to party? You want to drink? And you want to do bonding activities? Oh, at this mid-semester break. Yes, this is it. This is exactly what I've been searching for. This is exactly what I need. Oh my gosh, this is something fun, something memorable, something fun I can do with people. It's not just studying. Yes, I found it. Oh, but wait, here's the thing. This sounds like a terrible idea. Why? Because I know no one. Like, I know absolutely no one who's gonna go to this camp. Like, I've never been to any previous event from this club before. So I literally do not know a single person who was going to this camp. Who does that? Who goes to camp without knowing at least one person? Like, I have no idea what the people are like. It's like such a guaranteed way to make myself feel immense loneliness and isolation. It's like, I just put myself one foot in the grave if I agree to do something like this. And like a second thing is, I need to pay like $160 just to go to this place and with these people and have fun with them. And guess what? If I did end up feeling lonely alone because I'm the only guy who doesn't know anyone else going to this camp, well, guess what? I would have spent $160 just to prove to myself that I was right and to feel lonely and isolated. That is like the most stupid thing ever. And you know what the worst thing about this is? They said that for 2 nights in a row, they're gonna let loose and drink the hell out of them. They literally encouraged everyone to bring alcohol and to drink their hearts out. And guess what? Guess what this guy does? This guy doesn't drink and he has never drunk before and he is committed to not drink alcohol. So guess what? This is like the best sign, best way for me to stand out to be the most antisocial person out there. Like this, the one guy who going to this camp knowing that they encourage people to bring alcohol, that they're gonna do this at night, to be the one guy who doesn't do it, to be sober and to not drink any alcohol. It's like you just putting yourself in a position where you will be lonely and you will be the odd one out, be the most antisocial person ever. Like, what are you doing? It's like, obviously, like, right, this sounds like a massive risk. So I was obviously contemplating a lot for many times to not go. But why did I go in the end? Just the thought of me doing absolutely nothing fun, this missed the break for 2 whole weeks, just studying, it kills me. It would have killed me, man. I'm not doing that. I cannot have a break where I do absolutely nothing fun. So, nevertheless, I decided to sign up and give it a go. And guess what happened when I looked at the sign up form? It said this. Please include up to 5 friends you want to be in a group with. Five friends? 5 friends? Do I have any? I got no friends. No friends, chat. No friends. Wait, do I need to have friends to go to this camp? No! It's like you're excluded because you don't have friends to go with. Oh my god, jeez. Oh no, man. Oh. It's actually over, man. I got excluded because I have no friends to go with. Oh my gosh. Like, this is so cooked, man. Like, even if, you see, everyone is going to come with their already organized friend groups. And I'm gonna be the one guy who decided to pull up with no friends. And I'm going to be the fattest loner there is known to mankind. Because no one is dumb enough to do something like this. Okay? Oh my god, especially if they're like me, a massive introvert with 0 social skills. Like, and everyone's gonna find out. Like, I'm gonna be the only one who goes to this thing and have no friend group. Everyone's gonna be in the friend group and they're gonna be like, oh, look at that one guy. He's just sitting there by himself. Did he not invite any friends? Did he have no friends to invite? What? Why would he go to this camp? He knows what's gonna happen to him. Right? It's like the introvert's worst nightmare. Oh, but wait, you know what I did think about? I was like, oh, surely I can just come up with random people's name. Like, oh, Kevin, Bob. There's such popular names, right? Oh, surely I can just put that in the sign-up form, man. And be like, oh, these are my friends, man. And even if they ask me, where's this Kevin, where's this Bob? I can just be like, hey, they're my friends. You just can't see them, man. You just can't see them. Just because you can't see them doesn't mean they don't exist, right? Come on, man. Who are you to judge my friends just because you can't see them, right? Right? Oh, wait, I have another idea. You see this? Oh, this is my friend. His name is, it's Rocky, because it's a rock. You see this? It's the earth, it's a rock. This is my friend. And they're gonna be like, but this is a soft toy, it's not human. Hey, who are you to judge my friend Rocky just because he's not human? He has been my friend for almost 2 years now. We have been through so much together. You see, whenever I was sad, I would just hug him so tight. Every night, I would confront him and he would be there for me, okay? He has been there for me every single day. Whenever I cried on him, okay? He made me feel warmth, comfort, joy. The same thing that friends make me feel. How could you say he's not my friend just because he's not human? Okay, here's my friend. Put me in the same group as him, man. My friend's Rocky, he's right here, man. You see, that was what I was thinking before going to camp. I was like, nah, man, I got my friend right there. See, that's my friend right there. Who are you to judge him just because he's not human? But, you know, on a real note, I still decided to go for it. Because again, the idea of not hanging out with anyone to have fun with them, it's just, I can't live with that. I just can't, man. If I just study all day for the 2 weeks, nah. It's just, I cannot, man. So, guess what I did on that form? I just wrote, I know no one and I want to meet new people. That's what I did. And it worked. And they accepted me. And I went to the camp, man. And guess what? I had this master plan. How to get people to talk to this massive introvert. Wait up, hold on. You see? I volunteered at these events. Look, I volunteered at the World Choir Games. Maybe someone also went there. And they may be like, oh, you also went to the World Choir Games. And then be like, yes, I went. And I also volunteered. Oh my god, that's so cool. Do you like choirs? Yes, I sing in the choirs. It's like, oh my god, look, we have an immediate similarity and connection. This is so good. You see, I'm gonna wear this t-shirt and people are gonna see and surely they're gonna talk to me. Oh, if that doesn't work, I have another one. Oh my gosh, look at this. Everyone knows the Lantern Festival. Come on, man, this is one of the most popular events at the start of the year. Surely someone went to it, and then I can just wear this and be like, oh, you also went to the Lantern Festival. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. What, how did you get this t-shirt? Oh, because I volunteered there. Oh my gosh, that's so cool, man. How do you do this? And I can just babble on how great these events are, promoting them, and just saying, yes, man, you should do this as well. Such a good way to talk to new people, right? Oh, if that doesn't work, guess what I'm gonna do? Ah, chess, yes. I'm gonna play chess against bots. Oh, my rating of peak 1,757 from when I was in high school. And all the boys are gonna be like, oh, look at you go with the chess. Yes, 1v1 me. Yes, I got the chess app prepared, man. I barely use it, but now I have it. It's for this purpose. And if that doesn't work, oh, let's just scroll through my Japan photos. I went to Japan in 2024. I went to Kyoto, Osaka, and Tokyo, man. You see, Japan, everyone wants to go there one day. Everyone, no exception. Okay, it's one of the most popular tourist spots out there. Everybody wants to see Japan's beauty and anime and stuff like that. Oh, maybe someone hasn't been there before and they want to see what it's like. Oh, if I just scroll through, they can be like, oh wow, did you go to Japan? Wow, that's so cool. Show me some pictures. And that's how we bought. Look, I had this master plan. Oh my gosh. Oh wait. No. Forget what I said. That's one of my biggest insecurities. Like, no. Secret flashbacks. Keep going. Secret flashbacks. Oh my god. Okay. No. Okay, that doesn't actually work. Okay. Anyway, so what happened during camp? What actually happened? Guess what? Just before we were all meeting up and getting ready to go on the bus, I was like, is this the place? I don't know, because I don't know anyone. Is this the place? So we were meeting up at like the student cafeteria area, and I was literally just walking around circles for multiple times, being like, is this the place? I don't know, man. How am I supposed to, interact with people? I don't know anyone, right? But guess what? When I went there and got my name signed off, immediately I was greeted by someone. And we already got to know each other and talked it out. And then later, I met someone who was in the same group as me, and we began to have a discussion. And then more people came, and it turned out that he also didn't know anyone else who was going to this camp. And we just hit it off like that. And then on the bus, I actually met up with one of my old high school juniors, and we even played chess together. And guess what? Immediately, when camp started, we were at the venue, at the place. Immediately, it was bam, introduction, bam, getting to know everyone, bang, bingo quiz, bang, group work, activity, get to know each other. And my group went on a hike, then we did mafia, then we did a series of games competing with other teams the next day. We even went to see glowworms there, man. And we took so many photos, and we had this amazing thing that we did together. We did a dance together. We literally did a dance to one of the most popular songs out there, and we practiced for hours that afternoon. It was so fun. And guess what? The night before camp ended, when everyone was drinking actually, I wanted to do some stargazing and to just soak in this atmosphere, this environment. And guess what? I also met this amazing person who was also stargazing and also didn't drink, and we literally had the best deep talk I have had in such a long time. This person was just so similar to me. He went to camp for the exact reason why I decided to go to this camp. He also thinks very deeply. He is big on philosophy. He thinks about a lot of things. He has struggles with friendships too. He has trouble integrating and fitting in as well, and all these same things. And it just felt like, out of how many people, 60, 70 people, there's just one person that is exactly like me. Like, at a night where everyone is drinking and stuff like that, who would stargaze? Me and this person, man. That was amazing. And we, on the bus back, we also continued to have amazing, great deep talks. So that was my experience summed up. You can tell I was really happy, right? It actually turned out really good, right? Yeah, surprise, surprise. So now, here's what you've been waiting for all this time. The biggest questions, the biggest things you might be wondering. Did I end up making a bunch of new friends? And the answer is, I made a few good connections, but it was still hard to make new friends and maintain those new good connections that I made. And here's the reality. One, like, a lot of friends are already in pre-established friend groups, as I've already told you. Not everyone is seeking new friends. They all have their social needs met. And you see, they have limited time. Everyone has limited time. And most of the time, they would rather choose to spend it with the friends that they invited to this camp instead of talking and befriending new people. Because a big reason why they went to this camp in the first place is to create memories with these friends that they invited. And these friends that they invited, they might have not had much chance to hang out with anyway during the semester. So this is like for them, like the best way to catch up and create new memories together, right? And obviously, you see, it feels weird to just jump into a random pre-established friend group and just be like, hey, what's up, man? Hey, come on, talk to me. Like, it's just so easy to feel like the odd one out. Like, they're getting along so well, like, there's no place for me to intrude, right? So yeah, a lot of people, pre-established friend groups, whenever there's free time, they basically, for the most part, spend it with them, right? So just because of that, it's already quite hard to make actual real new friends with most people who went to that camp, because obviously most of them went with at least a couple of their friends. Like, literally, it was encouraged in the form to do this, and it's probably one of the main reasons why they went to this camp in the first place, is to create these memories with their friends that they probably might have not had many chances to do so during the semester so far, due to, massive life differences and stuff like that. And two is just, you just might not find your kind of people to be friends with, right? Like, for example, for this camp, right? Like, once all the activities are done and it was drinking time, if you, like me, don't drink, don't go to clubs a lot, and just don't socialize like that, you're just gonna be the odd one out. Like, most people that they expect to go to this camp are gonna be the people who like to do that stuff. Like, drink, party, be loud, be in that kind of environment. If you're a massive introvert like me, who is, I wouldn't say dislike the environment, but that isn't the main way you socialize, and you believe there are better ways to socialize, or you prefer more quieter environments more of the time, you're obviously gonna be the odd one out, right? You're not gonna be able to connect with them and do their drinking games, their dares, the other stuff they do while they're drinking, right? Like, if you're like an introvert like me who likes deeper talks in quieter places, engaging with nature and my surroundings, right? Well, as I just told you, guess how many people were also doing that at this camp? Just one, that person I just told you about. Like, 1 out of like 70 people are like me. This is just shows you how rare my people are who went to this camp, right? It's just sometimes the circumstances, the environment, you just might not find the exact kind of friend you're looking for, right? Especially if you're like very strict with that, if you only like have good chemistry with specific kind of people, and you can't really be friends with everyone, right? I would say some introverts like me, we think that we can be friends with everyone really well, but if there's just too much difference, it's like a bit too hard. So sometimes you just might not meet your kind of people at these places. And the most important one is, for me, and for I would say a lot of people, even the new good connections or friends that they made during this camp, when the semester resumes and we go back to our own lives, everyone's lives is so different, right? Like they go back to their original friend groups. People who, like me, I would go back to the people who I normally would hang out with. And there's just not much chance to meet unless we go to another event hosted by this club, right? Or another social club. And it's not like everyone that I met and interacted with at this camp would always go to the next subsequent events that this club is hosting. And sometimes I can't as well, especially when I have massive assignments and tests coming up. If it's like, for example, another drinking event and it's purely drinking and I just don't drink, or if it's like quite far away and I don't want to spend all that time just to travel there. So the thing is, without this common environment and common shared space, sometimes it's a lot harder to maintain these new connections or friends that you might have made in this camp. Because we're just so different. Our lives are so different. We might not even be going to the same university, because this camp, they allowed people who went to this university and this university. So 2 different universities. So if I met someone who went to a university that was different from me, obviously our lives are going to be very different, right? So you see, the reality is, even though it's a social event, a social club and all that, it might still be hard to find new people, make new friends, and most importantly, maintain these new friends. So you might be wondering, well, then you must have felt so alone and lonely, right? Like, you made no friends at this camp. You made some good connections, but as you just said, it's not easy to maintain these new connections, right? But guess what? I did not feel lonely or alone at all during this camp. And you might be like, what? But you just told us that you made some good connections, but not really like the exact kind of friends you're looking for, or even these new good connections that hard to maintain after camp. Like, how does that mean you didn't feel lonely or alone? Well, here's the thing. 1, I was with my group a lot and we did a lot of things together. For me, simply doing fun things together and cool stuff and making these memories together made it impossible to feel lonely. We did challenges, we created something very memorable, we took so many good photos. Like, to be honest, I was mostly like a tree. Like, for the most part, I mostly observed. I did some initiating, I initiated some conversations with new people. But for the most part, I was just observing, and I wasn't as outgoing as I wanted to be, because normally when I meet new people, I always take a bit of time to get used to them and all that jazz. It takes a bit of time for me to open up to feel comfortable with them. But here's the thing. I didn't even need to do much, and already they were so nice, welcoming, inviting, friendly, made me feel so comfortable. And by doing all this stuff together, it was just natural. I just felt naturally happy. And the interactions were just natural and normal as well. So it just made it very easy to feel connected and part of a community. And the second thing is, in my group, it wasn't like I was the only one who knew no one. Sure, some people in my group, they already knew each other quite well, but we also had some people from other friend groups, and they don't know the other people in the group. So I wasn't the only one who didn't know anyone well or anyone at all. Like, some people, they were like separated from the main friend group and they were in my group. And they probably barely knew anyone who was in my group originally. Or even they didn't know them well. So I wasn't the only one who didn't know anyone. So I wasn't alone in that aspect as well. And as I said before, people are just amazing. Like, whenever we did group activities together and all that jazz, everyone was actively participating in the group activity and not alone. There were people, amazing people in my group that made it so that everyone was seen and heard, and everyone contributed, no matter how small. It's like, it was so easy, and everyone there was always down and available to chat. They asked me questions, we played games together, and I had these amazing talks with not just that person that I told you about who was stargazing with me, but a whole bunch of other people as well who were just always down to chat. So friendly, welcoming, inviting, happy, and just wanting to socialize and interact. Everyone made it so that I never felt alone. It was like this amazing community and such a friendly atmosphere. And that made me realize this quote that I've been hearing all throughout my life, but I keep forgetting. And now I finally understand what it means. What's the most important thing in the world? It's the people, the people, the people. This is the community effect. And you know what the most crazy thing, like absolutely crazy thing about this is, like all of this? These people, I barely knew a thing about during camp, and today I still barely know anything about them. Like, the thing for my group is that I barely know like 1 to 3 facts about them. Like, some I knew what they were studying, some I still remember what they're studying, but some I forgot what they were studying. I don't even know what university they go to, like my one or the other one. I don't know their exact ethnicity. Like, I could guess just based on, how they talk and stuff like that, and like what they look like. Just classic stereotype, right? And if they accidentally mentioned it, I don't know what year of university they were at. I don't know their age. And I almost did not know any of their hobbies. Like, I don't know what they did outside of studies, and I don't know what they want to be in the future or any of the basic info. Like, for the most part, for people in my group, the only thing I knew was their name, most of them what they studied, and I could probably guess the ethnicity. That's it. We don't know anything else about each other. And even the people I had deep conversations with and the people that I interacted outside of my group, they knew even less about me. They didn't even know what I was studying. Some of them, I don't even know if they knew my name. And to this day, I still don't know if they knew my name. I knew their name afterwards sometimes when we connected with each other on Instagram. But we barely knew anything about each other. But I still made all these amazing lifelong memories with them and had these amazing interactions with them. And it felt like I created this good foundation with them and this amazing shared experience so that even if I did see them on the street in another event by this club or another club, it will be so natural for us to say hi to each other and interact again. Like, this experience, one of a kind, and we have this shared experience just like that. It's a way for us to reconnect and be like, oh yeah, we went to that camp together, how are you doing? Just like that. And some of them I did end up seeing at another social club that I also went to sometimes, and we did end up talking for a bit. And for one of them, I managed to have a longer conversation with them on the bus on the way back home. Sure, most of these were just very small talk, right? Just like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I've got exams, tests, it's doomed, going forward the next few weeks, right? That kind of small talk. But hey, we still greeted each other and we were happy to see each other. That's the whole point. And I also ended up going to another social event that this club hosted several weeks later. And I did see again some people from my group. One of them forgot my name. But it didn't matter. That person still remembered me because we were part of the same group and we had this shared experience. And we said hi to each other and we asked each other how we were doing, and we were doing great. See? Like, even though they forgot my name, they barely know anything about me, and I barely know anything about them, they continue to be in their friend groups beforehand, or the ones that I made during that camp in this new event that I went to by this club. But we still interacted with each other and were happy to see each other and had a good interaction because we had this shared experience. That is what matters. This is like exactly like House of Feelings. If any of you have watched that show where a host invited 8 to 10 agents, 8 at the beginning, 10 in the end, where they would all come together at a single house and just talk about feelings. All of them, they barely knew anything about each other at the beginning. They just knew that they were all social content creators and that they were all Asians. Just Asian, right? That's about it. And they didn't even know their age, what they did as a job, and anything like that. And even after the show, some of them got really close and they hang out all the time and talk all the time online, right? But obviously, they're not gonna talk to every single one of the people that they met at that show constantly, right? But guess what? They still did reunions, multiple of them at different countries. They still had a bunch of fun afterwards, months after the show ended. And they still continue to make these amazing memories and interactions with each other. Because they all had this shared experience together this week at this house and having done all these amazing things together and having this unique experience that they can never have again. Same with this camp. Like, I might barely see any people in my group many more times at university or at all, but whenever we do see each other, because of this shared experience, we can still interact and be like, oh wow, hey, how you doing? We were in the same group together for this camp, remember? Yeah. And interact like that. It's exactly like House of Feelings. Like, most of them probably for the next few months that after the show ended, probably didn't talk much to most other people. Like, they might talk a lot and develop real feelings for one or two people, or just, make great friends with one or two people. But they wouldn't like constantly talk to everyone who went to that show, right? But it doesn't matter. Even those other people, when they all gathered back together, they were back at it again. It's like they never left each other. They just continued to go from where they were before. See, that's the whole point. And you know what the biggest contrast is? Remember, if you watched the first video, you know that the day before semester started, I posted for one of my courses on Ed Discussion, the social media platform essentially for my courses, where I basically told the cohort of about nearly 200 people that I was basically alone and I wanted to have new study buddies and make new friends. And I told them a lot about me. I told them the specific courses that I took, my degree, my ethnicity, and I basically listed all my hobbies, including the ones that I don't do a lot anymore. I just listed them all out. So I told all these strangers the day before semester started for one of my courses, all these things about me to try and connect with someone to be study buddies and hopefully eventually friends. The friends is the main point. The study buddies is like a step before that. That was at least my intention with that. So what was the result? A few reached out, some ghosted me, some told me that they just can't see me in person, some told me later that they just weren't interested in this anymore, and some I asked them, hey, instead of just academics, do you want to hang out with me one day to have fun, to get to know each other better, to connect outside of academics, and just spend this time together to get to know each other better? And to put it simply, none of that worked out. It just didn't work out. And the craziest thing is, these people that I tried to connect with, hang out outside academics, all that jazz, right? They knew so much more about me, because in that Ed discussion post where I told them so much about me, my name, what I studied, the exact courses I took, my ethnicity, my hobbies, and the fact that I was alone and I wanted to meet new people. Like, I said all of this. But the people at camp, they barely knew anything other than my name. If they remember my name, assuming they remember my name. Some of them might not even know my name, to be honest with you, especially to this day. Like, and none of them obviously, I don't know if any shared any similar hobbies with me or anything like that. At least for my group, I know none of them took a degree that was anything remotely close to the degree I'm taking, which is science-based. And yet, I was still able to have so much amazing memories and time with them and bond with them through these shared activities. And compared to the people I reached out to my cohort, there's such a big difference, right? Yeah, so it made me wonder, why did I always think I can only have fun or only have the most fun with my friends? Why did I think that I wouldn't be able to have as much fun, if not more fun, with strangers or people who barely knew me? Why did I only think that I could only create these amazing lifelong memories with friends and not with strangers? Why did I think that whether I had a social life or not, or whether I was lonely or alone or not, or whether I could have tons of fun with other people or not and feel free and like a child, depended on people who I believed to be my friends and no one else? Why did I believe that if I had no friends to have genuine fun with mutually, it meant that there was no one else I could do that with? Why did I believe that people would only want to have fun with me if I was their friend, if we shared a lot of hobbies and we are similar in many ways, but not also strangers? Why did I believe that if I could not find my people to have fun with in my cohort, that I couldn't do that with strangers, when there are clearly clubs and events designed for this? Why did I have all these assumptions that were baseless and just so narrow-minded? It just made me really wonder, like, why? And so, because of this experience and all the amazing memories and people that I met, there are some really, really key lessons and insights that I gained. And these are the reasons why I would always have chosen to done this and always choose to do this again if I was in the same exact position in the future. And why I'm so grateful to have gone on this camp. You see, even if the connections you made there are temporary, and I mean very temporary, it doesn't matter. Because the thing is, I've already created these amazing lifelong memories with the people I met there. That is priceless. That is what matters the most in the end. That is what's gonna stay with you forever. That is what makes this whole experience, including my whole university life as a whole, a big reason why it's so good, right? And it made me believe that even if I did have friends to invite and go to this camp with, I would probably still want to go to this camp alone and have no friends going with me. Or even if I went with my friends, I would want to be in a different group than my friends. Because for me, the whole point of this camp is about meeting new people, interacting and doing cool stuff with them, getting to know them better, and sharing these lifelong memories with them. That's the core. Like, I just think it's such a shame if I went to this camp and I spent 90% of my free time just in my friend group and no one else. Like, I have all these new people, amazing cool new people around me that I would have never otherwise met, and I still choose to spend almost all the time with my friends that I already know, that I can probably, hopefully, and spend more time with once this camp is over and throughout the semester. Nah, you know what I mean? And everyone who went here had the desire to meet and interact with new people to some degree, and all had the same goal of wanting to have a lot of fun and to create lifelong memories with each other. Thus, you meet like-minded people with the same desires. As I mentioned, I knew that there were 2 other people who also came to this camp with no friends, and some that only came with like maybe just one other person. They too were on the lookout for meeting new people and interacting with them. Some of them made new friends. Some of them, like me, had amazing good new connections and lifelong memories, right? But the point is, all of this, all these people, then this common desire of wanting to have fun and interact with new people and people in general, that made socializing and me opening up not only feel so much easier, but I also felt so much more comfortable and happy doing it, because I know everyone is fully present and intentional. No one was studying at all. Everyone was incredibly inclusive. No one was left out. Everyone for these 48 hours was all committed to this one thing. Just one thing. Have a blast with everyone and have a few days away from studying and university life. This joint commitment and vision and desire is what makes these university clubs thrive in the first place, and how you find your people, and how it's so much easier. It's how these memories can be created. Everyone choosing to give it their all during this camp and being fully available and unapologetically themselves. It's exactly like with House of Feelings. Like, for the most part, again, I barely know anything about these people. They barely knew anything about me, like my degree, my hobbies, my age, my life experiences, whatever, right? We barely knew anything. But this made it so that all of these were not factors when we interacted and did things with each other. If you watched House of Feelings, you knew that none of them knew each other's age, none of the cast knew how old they were, and they didn't know what their job was or their occupation, right? Like in this day and age, when you graduated from university, even when you're at university, a lot of you and how people perceive you is defined by your job, degree, or occupation. How much money you earn in this job, what position you are in this job, what kind of job you are doing, how you are impacting other people, what you choose to spend your time on, what degree you're doing, how good your grades are, what are some internships, scholarships, whatever that you've done outside of your degree, right? All of these, and for jobs especially, how much money you earn, that is so important. And all of this defines a lot about someone, right? In this society, day and age. But the people, the cast in House of Feelings, they knew none of that. They didn't even know how old they were. And you know what this created? This made it so that they could prevent any transactional / surface level relationship. They were all equals on an even playing field. And this made it so that all of the cast in House of Feelings, this Asian dating show, this made it so that all of them could be real and fully themselves and say, outside of my degree, how much money I earn, my occupation, my job, all that. This is who I am as a person. This is what I'm like when I'm vulnerable, when I'm happy, when I'm free as a kid, when I'm crazy, outgoing. These are my struggles. This is my upbringing. These are my biggest insecurities. They could say all of this so freely. This allowed people like the cast to have these deep conversations and be a lot more vulnerable with each other. And this is exactly what I felt during this camp. I was able to be a lot more free, myself, deep, vulnerable, but also crazy and show my inner child quite a bit during this camp. All of this because no one knew anything about my degree and my occupation, my success, whatever, right? They just saw me as who I am as a person, right? And because of this, the environment that the people at this camp and the club executives created, it was so amazing. There was so much love in the air, to put it simply. Like the people, some of them, as I've seen myself, they had these amazing deep talks with each other, and they weren't even friends beforehand. They had these amazing deep talk sessions, these life advice sessions. They had these amazing moments. Like some people, they were super drunk, and that got them really emotional, and that made it so that they literally was crying, and they were saying all their life's insecurities and struggles on themselves. And so many people were right by their side while they were crying, and right by them, and they were comforting them and hugging them even, and helping them get back to their rooms and stuff like that, and making sure they were alright and that they weren't sick or anything. Like a lot of these people, including me, we were just so much more real, vulnerable, open ourselves during this camp, because we barely knew anything about each other. Just like with the cast at House of Feelings, with them not knowing anything about each other's age and their job, occupation, and how much money they're in and how successful they are, all this stuff, right? We were just ourselves. So they'd be like, this is who I am, this is who we are, let's bring it. And yeah, so that's why I've always thought this camp is by far the closest thing I can ever get to having my own House of Feelings at university. And exactly, this environment that these people created, how can you ever feel alone or lonely in this? It's impossible. And it taught me so much about the power and the beauty of strangers. Just because they were initially strangers doesn't mean I can't have a blast with them. Just because we barely know anything about each other doesn't mean I can't show them some of my genuine self, especially my more extroverted crazy side, and to some of them, my super introverted deep side as well. Just because we're so different doesn't mean we can't work together, overcome challenges, and create something awesome together. Just because I don't have friends to hang out with and have fun, and only have fun with, nothing academic related, doesn't mean there aren't people and communities out there that don't. My people are out there somewhere. I just have to try harder looking for them and say yes to things, even though they sound absolutely crazy, and actually believe in them. There's so many amazing human beings out there that I could meet if I sign up to more of these events. And again, this was so special because, again, they were all strangers to me beforehand. To see and know all these people, they wanted to interact with me and do things with me, even though they barely knew a thing about me and they don't even know my name for some of them. That's what makes it so special, unique, and genuine. That's the stranger effect. Like, if I went with a friend group of mine and I spent most of my time with them, it's not going to be much different than just a regular hangout, right? Like, that's not that special compared to this. For me, it's so much more special because everyone I met was new. Everyone I met was new. And the ones who interact with me, they could have chosen to talk with their friends or anyone else, really. But they still chose to interact with me for a certain amount of time. And as someone who really likes meeting new people, that for me is really special and makes me really happy. And it taught me really what it means to fully live life in the moment and have the most important thing is to create lifelong memories with these temporary people and have life-changing experiences with them. And you know the craziest thing is, it's the same with all the other clubs that I'm in. I do badminton, I do choir, and I have done concert band, and I have done many volunteering stuff as well. And some other programs where I had to work in a group and do some projects, right? Like, most of these people, I barely know a thing or two about. And all of them are temporary people. Some of them are complete strangers. I don't know their name. Some I only see once and I never see again. Like, badminton club, every week I play with almost completely different people. Choir, I know some people, I talk to them, but at a choir of 50 to 100 people, you're not gonna know 90% of the people, right? 90% of people are strangers. And same for all the volunteering things, right? Every week I volunteer, I talk to different people. If you watch the first video, let's talk to locals. Every single time I speak with international students to help improve the English and stuff like that, it's almost always completely new people. And for like the other things that I did, again, new people, right? And I meet them just for this occasion, and afterwards, that's it, right? Like, all these people, they're all temporary. Most are strangers. Most, they barely know anything about me. I barely know anything about them, right? But yet, I still had all these genuine interactions and memories with them, right? And all of them helped me, no matter how small, to have this life-changing experience called university life that has made me so happy so far this year and a lot last year as well, right? All of these people barely knew anything about me. I barely knew anything about them. Most, I wouldn't say are my friends or even close. But that doesn't matter. Because of this shared experience, memory, and activity, we bonded through that. We impacted each other's lives positively, and we created amazing moments together, and we helped each other out and created these amazing memories together, and it stays with us. That is the most important thing. That's what is truly most important. Lifelong memories of temporary people. Like, for me, friends always go and come and go quickly. Like, quickly. Most don't share much similarities with me. Most simply, I just can't have a lot of fun with or hang out consistently because our lives are just too different. Some we just have completely different sleep schedules. Some of them, they just have fun completely differently. Or they have all their social needs met, so they always have plenty of other people to hang out with and can barely have time for themselves in the first place, right? Many reasons why, for me at least, it's hard to hang out with friends. But here's the thing. Communities where I do awesome things with others, where I feel like I belong, have fun, and be with my kind of people through this shared hobby or interest, desire, value, whatever, right? They are always there. The people were always there, committed, always present, and there's always an opportunity out there to create something everlasting. That is the community effect, right? Like, as a whole community, always, every week, there's gonna be people who's gonna sign up for badminton club. There's gonna be people who consistently come back to choir because we've all committed to this thing, right? Every week, there's gonna be people who show up at this volunteering event who want to talk to me. Every single social event that the social club hosts, even though every time there's gonna be very different people going, some usuals, some completely different, right? But collectively, as a whole, the community of people who want to do this thing, hobby with other people, volunteer, have this experience, and socialize and have fun together, people are always gonna be there. Like the community, people who have the same desire, they're always gonna be there. Specific people, individually, some they might be available to hang out with you, some of the time they're just too busy or lives are too different. But together as a whole community, there's always gonna be people out there available. And so whenever I go to these events, these volunteering stuff, social events, whatever, my badminton choir, there's always gonna be people out there willing to do with me. And this is what I mean by the community effect. This is the stranger effect. There's always people out there who are my people, who are willing to do all these things with me and to create these lifelong memories with me, even if my friends aren't available to do that with me, right? My people are always out there. I just need to keep saying yes, be present, go out there, and realize that this is the most important thing. It doesn't matter if they're strangers, if we barely know anything about each other. That doesn't matter. The point is, we want to have this experience and fun together, and we want to create these memories. And that all of these memories that are created with all these different strangers and temporary connections, all of that added together is what makes this whole university life so special. Like, to be honest with you, by far the most fun that I have had during university life, most of it was with strangers, complete strangers, okay? Yes, I had a lot of fun with my friends as well, but obviously, most of the time I can't hang out with them, right? So, I hang out with strangers by far the most, and I've had a lot more times where I have fun with strangers and my wider community, whether it be clubs or volunteering events, whatever, right? The community, the sense of being part of the same community and all these people out there that has always been out there, and they were always available, always committed, always happy to interact with me and share this memory with me and do things with me. And creating these memories with them consistently and just all of these added up, that is the most important thing, and that is what's gonna stay in here forever, even when I graduate and then turn old, right? So, if I have any final words for you guys or me, past me, who was thinking whether I should go to this camp or not, whether this is a crazy idea, whether I'm stupid or not, I would say, go to camp, go to this, or any other social event that you might be wanting to not go because you don't know anyone. Go to it anyways. The whole point is to meet new people and interact with these strangers. The whole point is to create all these lifelong memories with them. And you can most certainly do this with them. And you know they are your people. That is the most important thing. Just because you don't know anyone doesn't mean it's a bad idea. Doesn't mean you can't make new amazing connections and friends. Doesn't mean you're not gonna have a blast. And it doesn't mean you can't find your people. You will find people out there who would love to interact with you. I would love to create this amazing experience with you and these memories, okay? Don't be scared, because people will always want to interact with you. They are out there. You just have to go out there, sign up, say yes to things, and believe in this, okay? The worst thing that can happen is, well, you just go again. If one event doesn't work, just go another one. You will find your people. You will find people to do these amazing fun things with. Even if you can't do it with your friends because they're unavailable at that time. You can always do it. People are always out there. Strangers and communities out there who want to do things with you are always out there. And you just have to say yes, show up, and be fully present. Even if they're strangers and you know nothing about them and they know nothing about you. And that is the biggest thing I would say. So guess what? Next semester, gonna sign up to more social events, even more camps, and want to meet even more new people to have even more amazing lifelong memories with. That's what I'm gonna do next semester in 2026 at university. And you better believe that.